Hello, my name's Adam and welcome to UK Theme Parks, and today we're looking at another new Merlin attraction for 2019 again. It's not new, it was announced a few weeks back, and I say announced, it was kind of snuck around the park and things and people started guessing what was going on. Now, about a month, 6 weeks ago, people noticed that work was going around the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory building and excitement started to build, and then it turns out that a Alton Towers dungeon is indeed heading to the park for 2019. We've already had this confirmed. It's going to be an upcharge attraction. Whether or not it will operate like the other ones do, where if you're an annual pass holder, you're getting free. Time is still early on that one, so we're not 100% sure, to be honest with you. However, it is coming and it looks like it's going to go in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory building. Now, it's got 5 shows, or we believe it's got 5 shows because they're only advertising 5 characters. The building itself is actually quite big, so yeah, we'll see about that. But this is what they've done at the moment. They put 5 pictures up around the park so you can take a selfie with them, have a chance to win some tickets and a short break for next year. And they are as follows, and they follow very closely to what's at the York Dungeon. So I'm going to read some of the things off the York Dungeon just to see whether or not it kind of makes sense and what they're going to be doing, you know, what shows they're going to have for 2019. Before we visit the park, we'll show you some of the footage we took there, some of the construction, and then we'll come back and discuss the rest. So first, one we saw was the Highwayman. Now the Highwayman, the local coach driver, they're friendly enough, but they have a few grim tales to tell. So we're thinking this will be around Dick Turpin, which the York one is as well, because York's fairly close in honesty. And you know, what you'll learn is what punishment you can expect for highway robbery, how Dick Turpin tortures his victims, if it is based around him. If not, it will be another character, maybe more localised, which will, you know, follow the same storyline. And what happens when you don't give him what he wants. Highwayman, definitely one of them. The next one will be the Plague Doctor. Now this is obviously quite a popular one. You know, they definitely have this at London as well, and it's about the plague. So it's how to spot symptoms of the plague, you know, what it looks like, what could cure it, and you know, it's a light-hearted show. It's certainly a light-hearted show at the ones we've seen it at, and we expect it to be fairly light-hearted in this one as well. But a fairly common scene is this one, and the next one is probably one of the biggest scenes, which is the courtroom, or indeed the judge, depending on how they want to do it. And you'll go in there, and you're it will definitely be more localised than the York one, or indeed the London one. I would imagine it'll be more localised to Alton Towers, but you'll go in there and they'll read out some things that have happened and things that are done, and they'll put someone on the stand with a little sign around them and kind of, you know, are you guilty, not guilty, and, you know, try and make a fool out of people indeed. You'll have a lot of fun in there. Usually it's very interactive, it involves a lot of people, and you know, it's one of the stables, if not the stable of the dungeon. So we'd certainly be expecting that to be a massive hit. And the next one is of course the Torturer, and the Torturer is again a huge character, an absolute huge character. So you tend to walk in, there's a cage, someone will be put in the cage, and they'll be demonstrated on with various torturing devices, whether it be kind of a tooth puller, whether it be something that hangs you up. Yeah, that's it, they have it all there. So as you said, there will be a cage there. He will go through his favourite torture devices, and he will kind of, you know, give a bit of a history on how they were used, and indeed, you know, what they did and why they did it. It's not just sort of a grim look. There is actually, the dungeons, if you haven't been, aren't as dark as what people make out. There is actually quite a lot of family entertainment to be had at them. Now then, there is actually one that I can't find in a UK dungeon. That doesn't mean it's not there, and it's not named something different, and that is the Hauntings. This is the one that's advertised, I believe, by Nemesis, or was advertised by Nemesis. The park's closed now, so you're not going to see it. And the only thing I can see resemblance to this is a cellar, a lady who takes people to the cellar, which is at the Amsterdam dungeon. It uses the very same images, and she takes them down there, and it's kind of a little bit dark and grim, and there's a few stories and things like that. So the Haunting, I imagine, again, will be very story based, and it will be kind of you know, ghost tales and things like that. Whether or not they'll relate to Alton, which would be lovely, because bearing in mind you've got the, you know, the Chained Oak story, Hex, you know, and the witch, indeed, you know, that would be great if they link it in with that, but only time will tell. But that's the 5 characters they've done. 5 seems very small for a dungeon. However, that said, you know, if you're going to Alton Towers and they only open for 6 hours a day, you know, 5 shows is probably about half an hour long. You know, would you want to pay to go into the park and then pay for an hour spectacular like you would get at Blackpool or like you would get at York or somewhere like that? Probably not. So maybe 5 is the limit. Let's take you over to the park now, and this is the bit that we filmed when we were there, and we'll kind of show you the construction that we saw and indeed our thoughts on that. So here we are now at Alton Towers at the proposed site, or what we believe to be the proposed site for the Alton Towers dungeons, which was indeed the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory building, which is behind us here. Now there is work going on. You can kind of see over the fence that there is work going on, and we're going to have a look through the fence as well. That's a fly, sorry, on my hand. We're going to look through the fence as well because we can't really climb on anything. We can't really look over. You know, it's not the right thing to do. We're not going to do it. But there's a gap in the fence we're going to look through, and we can see through the entrance. And of course, we've just had a look over the side there to start it. But yes, we are at Alton Towers. Alton Towers Dungeons is coming soon, and this is where we think it's going to be. We do think that it's going in the Charlie and Chocolate Factory building, and you know, we really have such mixed opinions about all of this. So first of all, that is generally a kids area up there. You know, it's right by Cloud Cuckoo Land. It's got a lovely bright coloured restaurant next to it, and it used to be Charlie and Chocolate Factory, which used to be a water ride for those that didn't know. Before then, it used to be Toyland Tours, which was one of my favourite rides at Alton Towers, and before then, Around the World in 80 Days. So this is a history of amazing family boat rides. And if it's going there and they're actually ripping the boat ride out, it's really disappointing. Really, really disappointing. We're losing yet another attraction in order to get another paid attraction in. Will they reuse some of the bits? Well, if the Dungeons is going there, will they reuse the water ride for something, or parts of the water ride for something? When it moved to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it didn't use the whole circuit. They kind of built another station halfway around, and that's where you got off to go through the lift. So, you know, could they do that again? Could they have a little bit of a water ride with it as well? And indeed, of course, the big question is that most of the dungeons have the drop tower at the end. Certainly the independent dungeons have the drop tower at the end, one of the ABC towers. Now the park have 4 unused ABC towers in Subterra, and Merlin have another one in storage as well at Fort Park. So will we see one of those? Bearing in mind the problem the parks have with them, they can't get the ones they got up and running. Who knows? Who knows? But what do you think? What do you think? You know, this is an upcharge attraction. It's another upcharge attraction. It's another attraction where we hoped that if it is there, we don't know, but if it is there, we've lost another ride. We've lost another attraction from Alton Towers, you know, a dark ride at that, which could have been transformed into anything light-hearted, fun, even creepy if they really wanted to go down that route. But given the location of it, you know, is it a good location for it in the park, or have we overlooked something? Is it going to be somewhere else? What do you think? What do you think of the Alton Towers Dungeons that's coming very, very soon? Early 2019, we expect it to open. We know they're hiring actors for it now. And you've got to be thinking it's going to be open every day when the park is, because they will want to fill it. We don't have prices yet. We don't have details yet. And as soon as we do, we will come back to you. But it is definitely coming for 2019. Please leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. We'd be really interested to hear. My name's Adam. This has been UK Theme Parks, and we'll see you next time.